sold-out ExtraMile Arena in Boise. Two of the perennial best in the Mountain West, going head-to-head with San Diego State and Boise State. Along with Coach Steve Lapis, I'm Chris Lewis. Earl Walton, Mike Littlewood, Randy McCall, three officials ready to go at ExtraMile Arena.
And these have been two of the best programs in the Mountain West for a long time. Last year, two games decided by 3 points total. Boise State won both. Both very good man-to-man defensive teams, primarily.
San Diego State wins the tip. Bois win it. Has it on the outside. High pass on the interior, tips.
And neither one of these teams likes to play fast. They're both really grinded-out teams. They're about 250 in tempo, like to play half-court.
Boise State comes in winners of 5 straight. Their last loss nearly a month ago against Washington State. Perfect 3-0 so far in conference play.
San Diego State for a long, long time, going back to Steve Fisher, has been one of the best half-court defensive teams in the country. Really hard to score against. As you can see there, great man-to-man defense.
Barely grazed the front rim. That's that Aztec defense. So on the court to begin this game, starting lineup with Dylan Anderson making his second straight start for Boise State. And the usual 5 for San Diego State with Bois, the anchor of that excellent defense coach that you mentioned.
Yeah, second in the country in block shots, as is the team San Diego State, which is one of the reasons why they're one of the best at defending 2-point shots in the nation.
Another San Diego State turnover to begin this. Anderson's an Arizona transfer.
Great back cut by Meadow.
And he gets fouled.
Meadow has made a huge jump this year from 3 points a game to being the second high scorer on their team. Great three-point shooter. He has a nice back cut here, and that's what you have to do with San Diego State. They put so much pressure out on the perimeter that if you can't catch it, you got a back cut right away.
That's the challenge. Brian Dutcher, his defense, took over for the winningest coach all time in the Mountain West, Steve Fisher. And then number 2 on that list is on the other sideline with Leon Rice.
Yeah, I mean, these are two of the best in the country. And not only are they great coaches, they are just terrific people that I've gotten to know very well over the years. Great guys.
One of the things that you mentioned is that these programs look similar. If you rewind the clock 10 years ago, these two teams looked like what they looked like a decade ago.
You know, the faces have changed, but what each one does as coach, that's how you know a team is really well coached. They basically do the same thing every year with different faces.
The consistency.
You know, they are who they are. San Diego State's DNA is to be great defensively. Boise State's DNA is to be tough physically and really good in the half-court offensively. So they are who they are.
And when these teams meet, it's been fireworks as of late. Now, Boise State has won 6 of the last 7 games against San Diego State, but all those wins by 2 possessions or fewer. Nick Boyd, quick first step to the rim.
Yeah, Nick Boyd, the transfer from FAU, has been terrific this season. His numbers are all up from his time at FAU.
On that FAU team, squared off against San Diego State in the Final Four.
And you see, San Diego State likes to switch a lot of these screens because they think their big guys can guard perimeter guys. That was Jared Coleman that time, trying to stay with a guard.
Jared Coleman-Jones showing off the quickness. The series head-to-head, 32nd meeting. San Diego State leads it overall, but the Broncos have had the better of things as of late.
That's surprising. You know, I mean, this is the kind of rivalry that you think is going to be 50-50. It has not been lately. I'm sure Brian Dutcher does not like that.
Meadow glides right inside.
You know, they really struggled in their last game with Wyoming. They were up by 1, up by 2, and Meadow was not playing well. In the last 6 minutes, he woke up. They won the game by 10.
And he finished with 11 points. Boise State won that one by 9. That was the same day the football team was playing in the Fiesta Bowl at the same time, so perhaps not many eyeballs. Miles Burr, the fadeaway J, is perfect.
You know how you can tell a good program? Both these programs, their freshmen become better as they get to be sophomores and better as they become juniors. They've used a mix of transfer portal guys and freshmen that they've recruited out of high school. That's how these programs have made what they are. They make players better.
Bird's that example of the development guy. 3rd year in the program. Last year, just 4 points per game, utilized lightly off the bench. And now he stepped into a featured role this year and has been a contributor in all different areas.
Yeah, he's second in assists, second in blocks on the team. So Miles Byrd is a kid that does everything and really improved.
Cardenas is a San Jose State transfer. So transfer within the conference, the point guard for Boise State. Anderson's hounded, Guath on him, 2 to shoot. Degenhardt, line drive, bricks it, and that's a shot clock violation.
You know, Degenhardt has struggled with it. He made a couple of threes in that last game against Wyoming, but he has struggled with his three-point shot. The interesting thing about him is he's gotten better every year, but his three-point shooting has gotten worse every year. He was 43% as a freshman, 29 this year, but he does so many things. Preseason player of the year in the league.
Yeah, 2-time all-conference, and you just mentioned it. The preseason player of the year in the Mountain West. He's matched up down low against the 7-footer in Guath. Coleman Jones rolls, hook shot against Anderson. Can't get the roll, and R.J. Keene scoops in the rebound.
You know, both these teams will make it very hard to score in the paint.
Cardenas bounces. Keene waits and banks it up and through. Count the hoop. And one set up by Cardenas.
You know that Leon Rice has told his guys, and we talked about it before the game, Miles Byrd lost his man that time. He did a lot of ball watching, and his man cut behind. You see number 21, Miles Byrd. He does ball watching there and doesn't see that his man is behind him. You've got to see ball and man all the time.
And you see that pump fake from Keene right there? Boise State spent about 10 minutes earlier today in practice exclusively with shot fakes.
Yeah, I mean, shot fake is so important in this game. Violation there. And, you know, whatever baskets you get out of R.J. Keene, he's a kid that's averaging 2 points a game, but he's third on the team in steals. He averages 4 rebounds. He does all those little things that Leon Rice needs done.
He entered the starting lineup a couple of weeks ago. He's making his 6th starts. His numbers don't stand out, as you mentioned, from the scoring point of view. His plus-minus, though, has been stellar. Wow. He's a 7-footer and can shoot it, but he's short.
He's just one of those guys that helps you with so many other things besides scoring. That was not good defense. And let me say this about San Diego State. They're top 10 in the country in transition defense. That was not a good example there.
And Javen Buchanan off the Boise State bench. Tough Bader, halfway down.
And that's the other thing about Boise State. They have a +10 rebound margin. They are top 20 in the nation in that regard. They defensive rebound tremendously.
Stanley, who had a couple of threes in these teams meeting a season ago, hasn't been shooting it well this season for Boise State. Bullying inside, Nick Boyd around and out. Keene tips the rebound. Last touch his fingertips. It'll stay here when we return.
Well, Javen Buchanan, NAIA All-American, going in transition, takes it all the way to the hole. 8-4, Boise State.
Welcome back to a sold-out ExtraMile arena where Boise State has the early lead. He's Coach Steve Lapis. I'm Chris Lewis. So this is a matchup coming in with the headline San Diego State's defense once again near the top of the country, and they're doing it in a similar way.
You know, the Four Top said it. It's the same old song, and that's the thing with these guys. They do the same thing every year. Always in the top 10 in defensive efficiency. They know how to stop people from driving, and now they're also the second-best shot-blocking team in the country with the second-best shot blocker in Magoon Guath. And that's what makes them so tough to score on in that lane.
Let's examine it with the AT&T fast analysis.
Yeah, you'll see it here. They do a great job of seeing the ball. Look at everybody. They know where the ball is. But then you got Magoon Guath standing in the lane there, and he's ready to reject this shot. He averages 3.2 blocks per game, and that's how they get a lot of their transition off those blocks.
San Diego State has a dominant rim protector. Tell me if I've heard that before. Whether you're talking about Skylar Spencer, or you're talking about Nathan Mensah. They've had their fair share of rim protectors.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. But that's, Brian Dutcher knows what he needs in his program to be successful, and that's how he builds his team.
None of the time now, the heel on the sideline from Jared Coleman-Jones. So a turnover for San Diego State. That's already their third.
You know, I'll tell you, I see more kids stepping out of bounds, kind of not knowing where they are on the floor than I've ever seen before in my life. Every game, you see one or two of them.
Is it their shoes are getting bigger?
I don't know,
or
maybe.
They like the three-point line that much.
That's the big part of it.
Cardenas navigates inside and draws the contacts. Toss to Gorville with the personal. So this is what we mentioned, the effect of having a dominant rim-protecting center.
Well, what it does, first of all, they're holding people to 35% field goal percentage, which is incredible, 29% from three. Them, Houston, and Tennessee are probably the three best defensive teams in the nation right now.
So far, Boise State 3 for 6 shooting. Gotten 6 of their 8 points in the paints. That pass is tipped. Toss to Gorville, gobbles it up.
And, you know, the steals that they get are not as much from pressure as much as being in the right place, and you're basically throwing the ball to them.
To Gorville, tries a deep one and banks it through. Using the jab step to create space, 33% three-point shooter. Cuts it to a 1-point deficit.
I like that freshman. He has 24 assists and 8 turnovers for a freshman. That is really tremendous.
Freshmen have been a big part of San Diego State's production. Wath, a freshman, to Gorville. Pharaoh Compton, haven't seen him yet.
Look how San Diego State packs it in the lane. I mean, try to drive it in there. Very difficult, so you end up taking shots like that.
And then Boise State so active on the offensive glass, and that's the thing about San Diego State. Can they finish off those possessions with a board?
Well, that's going to be the big deal, especially against a team that rebounds like these guys do. And then you see the Gorville there. He definitely did not call that one. But, you know, one of the things to keep in mind here, Chris, is that San Diego State is number 25 in the nation in terms of people attempting threes against them. So they have a lot of threes attempted against them, but you can't get in the lane there.
Got into the lane that time. Gets the bounce. Chris Lockett Jr.
He did get in the lane that time, and that was a nice finish by that freshman.
Former Louisiana Gatorade Player of the Year will have a chance to complete a three-point play.
You know, both these programs do it the same way. They recruit good freshmen. They get a couple of guys from the portal, and that's how they're able to sustain the excellence that they've had.
And talking to both coaches, the word fit came up when talking about transfers, finding the right ones.
You know, and that's really hard to do, but recruiting is all about fit. A good player for Brian Dutcher might not be a good player for somebody else.
Offensive rebound, San Diego State, Miles Heide. And North Bend, Washington, using the shoulder shake.
How about this kid? He scores 3 points a game. He's made about 12 of his last 13 field goal attempts. He does a great job on the glass. He only averages 12 minutes, but he brings a lot to them. He's their leading offensive rebounder.
And getting buckets a lot like that. Second chance, close to the rim. The North Bend, Washington, his dad's 6'11" player at Oregon State. Back in the day, can't complete the three-point play. To Gorville underneath. Another tip opportunity won't fall. Marshae Johnson into the game for the Aztecs.
Not a guy who gets a lot of time.
Playing in just his 6th game this season. Lockett Jr. wants 3. Give him 3.
You know, Leon Rice said that Lockett has been playing really, really good lately, and you see him here, the freshman.
Julian Bowie in for Boise State, defending the ball, and it's an offensive foul on San Diego State.
You see Lockett here, a little bit too much help that time by Marshae Johnson. Didn't really need to come in and overcommit, left Lockett alone.
They get Heide on the foul. That is his 2nd.
You know, and that's where the experience comes in. Marshae Johnson hasn't played a lot. You know, you got to have a feel for when to help, when it's too much help, when it's not enough help. That's what comes with practice.
Bowie, he lines it up and gets it to rattle through. Boise State, not a great three-point shooting team. 2 for 5 to begin this game.
And both those threes on Marshae Johnson that time.
Boyd had it swatted away. Stays here. Shot clock at 13.
Again, I think in that situation, a little too much help, a little too far off of his man, and a really good block there.
Bowie from behind.
And Bowie's another freshman that Leon Rice is very high on as a point guard of the future.
Boyd, play makes. McKinney lines it up and drills it.
This kid was a big scorer in San Diego. He averaged 13 points a game. He can shoot it. He's been a big scorer his whole life.
Second team All West Coast Conference a season ago.
And you see San Diego State, with the versatility of their big guys, they switch everything.
See how tough it is. Boise State can't get it inside the three-point line. Finally do on the lob to Degenhart. Just 5 to shoot. Size mismatch. Goes to work. Hook shot off right.
Yeah, that was a big size mismatch. The big guys were ready to help. They're lucky he didn't make that one.
Both teams patient attacks. Boyd for Glott, the 7-footer, comfortable on the perimeter, has made 8 threes so far this season. McKinney, another long ball. Tightly contested rebound. Glott the first to get there, but it's a foul on San Diego State. It's on Glott, his first. Everything tough inside, so go to the perimeter. In the reserve guard, Wayne McKinney Jr. rings it up.
On your 300th win, Coach. Yeah!
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Fresh Pet. It's not dog food, it's food food. Domino's. Get great deals on pizza, bread twists, chicken, desserts, and more. And by the U.S. Army. Be all you can be. Could only imagine that feeling for a coach. A couple of games ago, Leon Rice, his 300th career win.
You can only imagine? Let me tell you something. When people ask me, what do you miss about coaching? That's what you miss. You miss that locker room. You miss that feeling. You miss that togetherness with your players and your staff. Now, I don't miss being the way Brian Dutcher was the other day when he lost to Utah State, basically at the buzzer. I don't feel like being like that. But you like the good times for sure.
The highs, the lows, the pains, and the elation. And 301 career wins. He has the second most wins all time amongst coaches in the Mountain West. Number 1, Steve Fisher for San Diego State. What a pass. Buchanan finding Cardenas, who took the extra step.
I don't know if there's a profession that is extreme in highs and lows as this profession here, from one day literally to the next.
Bringing the example of the game in the Mountain West last night between Nevada and New Mexico, and that one down the stretch. New Mexico a buzzer beater in overtime to win that one. Bowman Jones back to the basket, deflected away by Emmanuel Ugbo.
Yeah, Ugbo bumped him pretty good there. That's the physicality.
And it's off the hands of the Aztecs.
I mean, and here's the thing. Boise State is top 20 in the nation in not fouling. They only average 14 fouls a game. San Diego State hasn't been to the line yet. And Degenhart there, I think he does a good job of walling up. Brian Dutcher didn't agree with me on that. He thought there should have been a foul.
Well, you mentioned the Boise State success in this head-to-head lately. They've won 6 of the last 7 against San Diego State. Coach, you mentioned that physicality. Boise State's one of those teams that can match the Aztecs in that category.
And that's been a big key, as Leon Rice told us before the game, that he feels like his team, it's a great move there, but look, they're met with the shot blocker.
Degenhart misses, but Buchanan is there.
I tell you, Buchanan was a first-team NAIA All-American last year. I've seen more kids step up from the Division II and NAIA level and be good players at the high Division I level than I've ever seen before.
Indiana Wesleyan. And he was top 6 in the NAIA in scoring. Foul on the perimeter. Stream CBS Sports HQ, your free 24/7 snapshot of all sports that matter to you. Catch highlights, in-depth analysis, breaking news anywhere you are. Download the CBS Sports app to watch today. Ugbo, that last foul is his first. The scoring breakdown so far. Both teams getting a lift from the reserves. Points for Boise State midway through the first half against a stellar defense. Waff fakes, fires, pops out, and a whistle on the board.
Yeah, I mean, that's as good a look as you're going to get there. And Waff, as you said earlier, Chris, can make the three-point shot. He's made 8 this year. Gave a nice little shot fake, ended up with a 15-footer. Wasn't able to knock it out.
Big whistle there on Cardenas. That is his second foul.
That's a big one. He probably, and you know what? That's the one guy that him and Degenhart that Leon Rice doesn't want to play without.
Reckless close out. The three goes. Buchanan fouls. This Bird will have a chance at a 4-point play.
Yeah, Miles Bird does a great job of coming off that pin down screen. The one thing you never want to do, you don't want to fly out of control and foul a three-point shooter.
Highlighted that pin down screen to free Bird loose. 4 points on the possession.
You know, good shooters like Bird, he's 39% three-point shooter. They come off screens and they are ready to shoot, and that's so important.
Well, let's see how Boise State gets into their offense here. Cardenas on the bench with those 2 fouls, and it's the redshirt freshman Chris Lockett who has to be the one to initiate against this remarkable defense.
And that's a great point, Chris, because he's more of a combo guard. Bowie is the kid on the bench who's a freshman who's been a little bit banged up lately that they think is their next point guard of the future. But Lockett's going to have his hands full now, having to handle against this team.
B.J. Davis picks him up.
And B.J. Davis is a great defender on the ball, and you can't turn your back. See, if you dribble into that lane and you turn your back, you see Miles Bird coming from behind to go get him.
So many long arms, swarming bodies. Heard it year after year, but sometimes it feels like San Diego State has an extra defender out there, the way they play defense year after year. R.J. Keene checking back in for Boise State as Buchanan heads out.
And this is what San Diego State does, you know what I mean? You score a couple of baskets, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a 5-6 minute drought in the middle of the game, and you don't know where it happened from.
Boise State comes in winners of 5 straight. Lockett off the handoff. Keene might have been deflected. Bird extended his arm.
I'll tell you, Watt did a great job of putting pressure on the ball that time with those long arms.
San Diego State near the top of the country in blocks. Coleman Jones spins on Anderson. Gorgeous fade, hits front rim, and Guath amongst the crowd commits the foul. That is his second.
Yeah, that's a good call. Dyson Degenhart at that time, very good box out. And here you're looking at Boise State. 9 minutes to go in the game, in the half. They're shooting 1-1 already.
Let's go, guys.
Being team foul number 7. DeMarshe Johnson reinserted for Coach Brian Dutcher with Wath, the 2 fouls. And Pharaoh Compton, it was a game-time decision coming into this game, and haven't seen him yet, who's one of the backup bigs.
And he's a good big, a really good freshman. And one thing about Boise State, number 27 and made free throws a game. So this is what they do. They get to the line this early, and on the other hand, they don't foul. So here's a situation where they're going to be able to outscore San Diego State if San Diego State doesn't get to the line a little bit more in this first half.
Degenhart with a half-dozen career wins against San Diego State. He's 6-1 against the Aztecs.
And he's one of the prime guys. He's number 16 in the nation in free throws made per game. Gets fouled a lot.
Free throw differential and rebound differential, the 2 pillars for Boise State this season.
Shot.
Miles Bird, big time.
Big time. Miles Bird's dad played for me at Villanova on my first team. Calvin Bird.
Calvin Bird.
Great cut.
Meadow in traffic. Transition, Bird Gets it to go. Miles Bird feeling it in the first half. First of double figures, he has 11. To a quick response for the Aztecs. Keene, opposite of the ball screen, low pass deflected. Boise State keeps up next.
There's Calvin Bird, the dad, was clapping away.
Boise State leads by a point. Game summary, each team 8 made field goals. San Diego State doubling at the three-point line. Miles Bird, 11 points, a game high. Degenhart yet to make a field goal, but Boise State executing. As we take a look, Coach Steve Lapis.
Well, you're going to see Nick Boyd here is going to be, as his back turned to his man, who is right here, Andrew Meadow. Meadow sees it and attacks the back of his head. He can't see him, so that's what you need to do. We used to tell our guys, attack the back of the defender's head. Can't see you, good cut to the basket, and a good pass.
That ball movement, player movement, really the one way you can solve San Diego State's defense, the way you can attack a team that's near the top of the country in 2-point field goal percentage defense.
Well, you can see already, Chris, that that's what they've done. They've scored on a couple of back cuts in the half court already in this game.
Shot clock down to 5, out of the timeout. Anderson to the rim. Oh, hit the backboard, did not hit the arm or the fingertip of any Aztec in traffic.
Yeah, he's got to finish that one.
San Diego State, that tough loss a week ago against Utah State, led that game by as many as 18. Had a 7-point advantage with 90 seconds left. Couldn't close it out. B.J. Davis, a line drive shot from the top of the arc.
And that's what you need to do. If the big man's not going to come out, Anderson's not going to come out on that, you have to pull up from 15 and make him pay for that semi-drop coverage.
First lead for San Diego State. Backdoor dig. Meadow can't get it to go. Marshe Johnson in his way. Davis, too strong. Offensive board, here's Bird, rainbow 3, front iron. Anderson on the short roll, delivers Degenhart. Corner 3, it's off.
He's a guy that they got to get going somehow in this game, but he's finding it difficult to score in the lane, and he hasn't shot it well.
0 for 3 shooting. Boyd has it pop out, but Coleman Jones, right place, right time. San Diego State by 3 and a timeout. Leon Rice wants to talk about it. San Diego State's a 3-point lead. CBS Thursday, an all-new take on the iconic celebrity comedy game of X's and O's, Hollywood Squares. Drew Barrymore, Nate Burleson hosts. Premieres this Thursday on CBS, streaming on Paramount+. It's been a struggle from the floor so far for Tyson Degenhart, 0 for 4 shooting.
You know, Chris, top 4 in the nation, we already talked about it. San Diego State in 2-point defense. And Tyson Degenhart, if he's not going to make threes, he's not going to find an easy time scoring in that lane.
Came in his last 4 home games, averaging 20 points a contest. Third in the Mountain West in scoring at 18 a night.
And interesting, Cardenas back with those 2 fouls. I like bringing a guy back in for a couple of minutes who sat out for a long time. Let him feel part of the game.
The Boise State lead with him on the bench evaporated. Here is Cardenas. Movement 3. Off left. Meadow tips. Stanley Oboards. St. John's transfer has it snatched. No whistle. Foul on Stanley. So Tyson Degenhart, who is the all-everything for Boise State, over 1,600 points in his career, 7th all-time on the Broncos scoring list. This season scoring up, and over the last 4 games, 3-point numbers up.
Yeah, he's been terrific, and he shoots a great percentage too, over 50%. So a really, really good player. He's also a very good passer. But they've got to find a way to get him loose in this game. So now in the half court.
44 points shy of 6 on the all-time Broncos scoring list. Foul inside. That's Stanley. That would be number 3. And that is. It's been a story for Stanley this season, is battling the foul difficulties. Usual starter has come off the bench now the last couple of games.
Yeah, that's really not a good foul there. Especially you don't want to pick up your third like that.
Johnson 0 for 1 from the free throw line this season.
I mean, here's a kid that doesn't play that much. As you said, 6 games, but another long, athletic kid.
Junior out of Oakland. 3-star recruit. Front rim's the second. Boise State trying to get something going on this end with Cardenas in with those 2 personals.
Yeah, the San Diego State half-court defense has really done a number on Boise State the last 5 minutes.
Silence this sellout crowd at ExtraMile Arena. Chloe lobs, Degenhart there to receive, and will head to the line. Big body of Tyson Degenhart, a senior from Spokane, Washington. First foul on Johnson.
Well, that time they did a good job. He seals his man up well. He knows how to play down there, and they are able to find him, and he gets to the line.
Preseason Mountain West Player of the Year, Tyson Degenhart. Just an experienced vet, 116th career game. The 8th player in the 1,600 career point mark, and one of the things that he's working on this year, he says being that vocal leader doesn't come natural to him. Having Cardenas come in, a transfer from San Jose State helps, but still, when you have a guy in Degenhart who's been here seemingly forever, it's natural for players to gravitate towards him.
And everybody leads in a different way. You know, you can lead vocally, you can lead by example. He likes leading by example more than anything else, and he is a great example. Right now, San Diego State's got to get some movement going. And that's why they turned it over there.
Cardenas tipped it from Coleman Jones. Whistle and a held ball. Arrow gives it to Boise State.
You know, one thing you find when you play against solid defensive teams like both these teams are, you got to reverse the ball. If you cannot play on one side because the help is loaded up, waiting for you. The ball has to get reversed and reversed quickly to move the defense around.
One of the top 3 defensive teams in the Mountain West so far this season, squaring off early conference action. First home game for Boise State in 2025. Meadow puts it on the deck, attacks the basket, and Johnson was in his way.
And what I like about what Meadow did there, first of all, I like what Bowie did. Bowie had some dribble penetration, which created an opening for Meadow. Meadow goes to the basket, and he goes looking for the contact. He goes at the defense. That was a good job by Andrew Meadow.
They whistle Bird for the foul. The reach from behind. His first personal. Meadow, during the offseason, put up 42,000 shots in an 8-week span. He knew that he'd be relied upon as that shooter. The way that Coach Leon Rice wanted to attack this year, and just couldn't take him out of the gym.
And Leon Rice got takes Cardenas out. Game gets tied, which is what he needed. They were down 5 or 6 when he came in. He comes in, they get the game tied, goes back out with the 2 fouls.
Coleman Jones, a deep one.
I mean, he can make them. I don't know if that's a real good shot for him, though.
Just 30% from deep this season. Degenhart wants it on the block. Did his work early.
I think he had to try and take that one.
Bowie, teardrop is through.
I can see why Leon Rice likes this kid.
Bird a leader. Wow. Perfect.
He makes tough shots.
13-point first half for Miles Bird with Dad watching.
He's made 2 or 3 tough shots in this game.
coach's dad. Did he have that kind of shot making ability?
No, his father wasn't the shooter. I told you, Calvin, he came out to me before the game. He came out to me before the game. I said, one thing I got to say, Miles, a much better shooter than you were, Calvin.
Here's Bowie with that beautiful floater. But Bird is a man from the mid-range. Calvin Bird, coached by one Steve Lapis back at Villanova, now watching his son Miles Bird put up numbers in this first half with 13 points.
Yeah, I mean, Miles, bro, there, that's going back a ways. There's no doubt about it. There's Calvin on the right side. He probably thinks I didn't let him shoot enough like most guys do. We talked before the game. He came up to me. I hadn't seen him in a while. Calvin was a great player himself, was a McDonald's All-American, and was an assistant coach at Pacific for years. So this is a guy who not only could play, but he knows basketball. And obviously Miles Bird, really the improvement in this kid is unbelievable. He went from 4 points a game to this year now averaging 13, shoots threes, athletic, second on the team in assists and blocks. A really, really good player.
I mean, I got to go back to that photo, though. I mean, the hairstyle, I feel like, for you coaches, relatively similar. The hair color
is not the same.
Might not be the same.
No, neither are the wrinkles the same.
Tyson Dagenhart at the line.
Or lack thereof, then.
You both have aged well.
Oh, thank you. They're being kind. Not truthful, but kind.
So Dagenhart has a chance to give Boise State the lead. He's been a thorn to the side of San Diego State. The Broncos have won 6 of 7 against the Aztecs, and that streak begins with Dagenhart's first game against San Diego State. Bird once more, circus left. Johnson there to tip it home.
I'll tell you, Johnson has been a big plus for this team today. He's made a couple of mistakes defensively, but he has now settled in a little bit.
That note right there at the bottom of the screen, the offensive rebounds favoring San Diego State. That is huge for Coach Brian Dutcher.
You know, that's another thing that historically they're really good at. And Johnson did a good job of closing out on Cardenas, causing that tie-up.
And the arrow gives it to the Aztecs. DeMarshe Johnson playing in just his 6th game this season.
Well, here's what happens when you drive the ball. You drive the ball, somebody comes over to help, in this case Buchanan. He loses the box-out position, and Jim Johnson's able to tip it in. That's why driving into the lane makes a lot of good things happen, even if you don't score on that drive.
You're just joining us, a back-and-forth first half. Boise State has the early lead. San Diego State clawed back. McKinney off the screen. Clock down to 8. To Gorville in a reach on Andrew Meadow. Coming up on AT&T at the half, Adam Zucker, Wally Zerbiak, Jay Wright will have their first half analysis, plus get you caught up on the scores and highlights. It's a crazy busy Saturday of college hoops coming up on AT&T at the half.
I'll tell you what, how good is Iowa State? I mean, to do what they did to Baylor, who was a really talented, good team, that's a tough place, Hilton Coliseum, there's no doubt.
Iowa State earlier on CBS. Excellent performance. The Gorville, freshman, number 2 ranked recruit in Nevada behind Farrell Compton, also for San Diego State.
And you know, if we're going to talk about the best defensive teams in the country, which we've been talking about in San Diego State, you've got to throw Iowa State up there also.
Once again, Boise State playing with Cardenas on the bench.
What a closeout there by Miles Bird on Meadow. Meadow looked like he might have a shot, and Miles Bird closed down on him quickly.
Dagenhart in his office draws a double. Lockett. Too much. Rebound was tipped by Coleman Jones, so it stays with Boise State. See the record there for San Diego State, 8-3. But their losses, Gonzaga, Oregon, Utah State, those are teams that have combined 35-7 record. Once again, Brian Dutcher's team challenging non-conference slate, and they've held up well. Bowie. And the rebound, Coleman Jones fires the outlet. in traffic, gets it to the rim, and draws the foul.
See, I don't know if that was a good call, and Earl Watson's a really good referee, but he wasn't really in position to make this call from where he was.
So right there, Meadows' hand. Boise State's bench wanted to tie up.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Bird making sure you know I was going up with that shot. A 94% free throw shooter misses. That was the second foul on Meadows. Stanley with 3 and Cardenas with 2 in the foul difficulties for Boise State.
And they're not used to having foul difficulties. They only average 14 a game.
Buchanan, Indiana Wesleyan transfer, NAIA All-American. Muscles inside, but lost it. Bird poked it loose. Coleman Jones wants it.
Might have been able to call a travel there.
San Diego State's defense smothering, leading to their offense.
When you're holding people to 35% shooting, that's some elite defense.
Under a minute left. Lockett, Louisiana products, off the glass, and one.
You see it all the time. When you play against San Diego State, the less that you have to set up in the half court, the better off you are. Here, they're in semi-transition. San Diego State, which is a very good transition defensive team, not really ready, and Lockett is able to score in transition. The more you can do that against them, the better off you are.
Already a season high, 7 points for Lockett. That's the third foul on Johnson. With Coach Leon Rice needed it. With Cardenas in foul trouble. Now 7 of 10 from the free throw line this year.
And Cardenas is one guy that Leon Rice does not want to play without.
Ultra competitive first half. Boy, it bounces. Coleman Jones. What a spin. Everything but the bucket.
Yeah, you said it, Chris. That was a big-time move, but you got to finish that one.
Now 10 seconds separate the two clocks. Aztecs could get a last look. That switch on the perimeter makes it difficult. Bird picks up Bowie. Draws the help. It's an offensive foul.
Wow, on the pass, leaving his feet.
Can barely hear the whistle, but here's the look.
Wow, I don't know. Secondary defender charges are hard to come by. Is he there before he plants that foot? I don't know. That's close. That'd be how about this? That's the first charge I've seen on a secondary defender this year.
Wow.
In the game I've been at.
And you've done a whole bunch of games.
A lot of games.
That's Wade McKinney III who rotated over. Timeout. We'll be back in Boise. 30 seconds. Aztecs by 1.
The booking app I used didn't have Agent Force, so an AI agent didn't know to move my reservations inside or know what I like to eat, which is not that.
What's up, my brother?
Oh, hey, bud!
We really needed this rain.
Right? Agent Force helps restaurants prevent dining disasters.
Paddle on over.
It's what AI was meant to be.
We got you, brother.
A half where everything has been earned. Nothing given easy. San Diego State, 1-point lead. They have the final possession of the first 20 minutes.
It's not surprising. I tell you, if one of these teams shoots over 40%, that's who's going to win. You don't have to shoot 50. Just got to shoot over 40, and you'll win the game.
6 of the last 7 meetings between these teams have been decided by 2 possessions or fewer. Shaping up for another one here on CBS. 5 to go, first half. Boyd sidesteps, Degenhart defends, fadeaway J shorts, and that does it. First half complete. San Diego State 33-32 lead.
Yeah, not surprising score. When these two teams play, that's kind of how it is. It's going to be a grind-them-out game.
Calvin Bird has had a lot to cheer about. Miles Bird has a game-high 14 points. That's the end of the first half. Aztecs by 1. Adam Zucker and company in New York for AT&T at the half. Right after these messages and a word from your local station. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Progressive. Bundle home in auto and save. Jersey Mike Subs. Be a sub above. And by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. 4 ties, 3 lead changes in that first half. Getting ready to start half number 2, along with Coach Steve Lapis. I'm Chris Lewis. These are the 2 Mountain West programs that have had 11 or more conference wins each of the last 5 seasons. And so far, their meeting has lived up to the hype.
Yeah, I'm not surprised this game is this close. You know, I mean, if you're Leon Rice, you're sitting in the locker room saying, we gave up 13 second chance points. We got to tighten that up because we're a good defensive rebounding team. But, Chris, did you do a lot of work out here over the years?
Yeah, just a little bit.
I know that. Yeah, I can see. Look, you look a little younger there, too, by the way. Let me just say, I had to take a couple of hits. You got to take one, too.
Wow. I didn't know we had the Wayback Machine, the throwback, some of these classic looks. Yeah, I spent about a decade here doing women's basketball, filling in for some of the other sports as well. So it's great to be back here in Boise, Idaho. City of Trees. Hasn't really been the city of threes yet for Boise State as we get to our first half stats. Brought to you by U.S. Army. And Boise State just 2 for 10 from behind the arc.
Yeah, I mean, they're normally not a great three-point shooting team, but the thing they have to do in this game is they've got to, and I'm sure Leon Rice talked about it, too many second chance points for San Diego State. Tighten up on the glass. And the other thing for San Diego State is they are fortunate. Miles Bird's having a great game. Nobody else on the team has more than 1 basket. So they've got to do a better job on Miles Bird. Boise State also.
You guys are out here surprising me in this truck. New Steve Lapis. They got the old pictures of me and everything. Got the old pictures of you. It's a throwback game here on a Saturday on CBS.
I would say you're like the mayor in this town.
So, a lot of handshakes when I go back. Great people here in this city. San Diego, the same, by the way. Whenever you get to San Diego, get a chance to see the show. Great place to watch a basketball game at VA House Arena as well. Dayhart, short, still can't get going from deep.
I mean, doesn't have a basket in this game. I mean, that's the guy who has to start doing something if they're going to get any kind of consistent offense together. Not a basket. 5 for 6 from the free throw line.
It's his first game with no field goals in the first half this season.
And I think if you're San Diego State, you're saying he's taken 5 shots, 4 have been threes. That's good for San Diego State.
Cardenas, a couple of fouls in that first half. He's the point guard. Step back from the free throw line. And Lagoon Guat, who also had 2 personal fouls in half 1, limited minutes, picks up the rebound. Bird firing away. Bullseye.
Boy, you got to find this kid quickly. He's got a quick trigger, and he's ready to shoot it. That time, Boise State got to get back, and you got to be on him right away.
40% three-point shooter has been on point. Boise State turnover. Bird flies open floor. Oh, he's short on the dunk. He's gotten everything else to go, but could not stuff it with the left.
Easy shot he had all night.
And then Meadow on the other end.
You know, that could be a big swing when something like that happens.
Elevator did not reach the top floor. 4-point swing.
He was a little indecisive. He decided to dunk it late and then wasn't ready to do it.
The guy whose name is Bird couldn't really fly on that dunk.
Good move in there, Coleman Jones.
Middle Tennessee transfer. Brother Jermel played football at San Diego State.
This kid has not been able to get into the 2 best players for Boise State, let's face it, have struggled.
How much of that is because of the switching defense from San Diego State?
A lot. It has a lot to do with it, there's no doubt.
He's so good in the ball screen, but you switch it, it's a little bit more difficult. There's Bird. No, not quite. And then Dad, Calvin. Come on, man.
Hey, let me tell you something about Calvin.
Could he get up?
He could fly.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He could fly.
He said, son might have the better shot, but maybe Calvin has the better bunnies.
I mean, Miles has some hops too, but I think Calvin a little better.
Degenhart, give him credit. Hasn't gotten the field goals to go, but that is now 6 for 7 from the line. Just joining us, Calvin Bird, the dad of Miles, played at Villanova and was coach for a short amount of time.
1 year I had Calvin.
Steve Lapis. Degenhart, a couple of more at the line.
You know, Boise State has done a pretty good job with their half-court offense, too. If it wasn't for San Diego State's offensive rebounding, they wouldn't have scored many points either in this game.
Each team coming in with 3 losses. Around and out, but a foul. B.J. Davis, sophomore from Modesto, California, assisted up and will strut to the stripe.
You know, another one of those kids that's in the program. Last year as a freshman, hardly played. This year, third high scorer on the team, has gotten a lot better.
He's learned from some good ones in his time here. Darion Trammell, Lamont Butler, development led by Coach Brian Dutcher. R.J. Keene heading to the bench. Was walking slowly, as I think the officials said they might have spotted blood by the nose. So Boise State's guard heads to the bench, and Javen Buchanan in. Playoff football is in the air as races come down to the wire. You can stream every NFL on CBS playoff game, from Wild Card through the AFC Championship, live on Paramount Plus. Davis hits.
San Diego State now coming with some pressure.
Dribble!
Cardenas against Davis. Gets it across the timeline. So this is that high ball screen.
I mean, think about this, Chris. No field goals between Degenhart and Cardenas. They're 2 leading guys.
Cardenas sends that right on cue.
He's very coachable.
He listens.
He does listen well.
The standout at San Jose State. Coleman Jones from the wing. So 1-3 is answered by another.
6 for 20 on the year before that shot.
San Diego State is 6 for 13 from distance in this game.
Well, they make 8.5 a game. They do a better job with the 3 than Boise State to push off there.
They get Buchanan. The 3s traded started with Cardenas.
Yeah, that time Davis lost Cardenas, and he's open for the 3. And then here, Omar Stanley feels like he's a 20% three-point shooter. I don't have to be up on him, and he makes it.
4-point advantage, San Diego State. Coming off of a loss a week ago to Utah State. Heartbreaking fashion. 3-pointer under 10 seconds left.
And they were up 18 in the first half. That was a heartbreaker.
Tucker Anderson for Utah State. Delivered the clinching blow. Stanley rolls. San Diego State switches. Stanley altered from behind. Doesn't matter. I think Bird thinks he had the ball.
Yeah, that was a pretty good job they did, rolling hard to the basket. Made a good pass. Bird thought he had that. Wow, that's got to be a foul.
No foul. No basket, Boyd. Cardenas, eyes up. Could see him wide as he moved down the floor.
Really good transition defense that time by San Diego State.
Stanley somehow bounces the ball to Degenhart. Cardenas, step back. Hero ball 3. Roth thought about it, and Cardenas 2 hands to the body, and the officials catch him.
That's the second time that Guath has really hesitated on an open three that he had there, and he can make those. But here's the out to Omar Stanley on the pick and roll. 43-41, Aztec.
Fun one here at the ExtraMile Arena. Next Saturday on CBS, we have more Mountain West College hoops coming your way. San Diego State faces another tough test on the road, this time at the Pit, New Mexico. The road to the Final Four is on CBS, streaming on Paramount+. Last year, the Mountain West had 6 teams in the NCAA tournament. You take a look at the remaining Quad 1 opportunities. As of today, of course, it could change for both of these teams.
Yeah, but you look at this league is 6th in all the conferences in net, so it's a very good league, but they haven't had a great pre-conference season. So the opportunities for Quad 1 wins aren't as many as there were last year. This is an opportunity for San Diego State. It's a Quad 1 win if they win this game at Boise State.
Have the 2-point lead out of the timeouts. Bird with a game-high 17-point split. Rolls to the rim, but thrown away. Javen Buchanan from behind. One of the players that Coach Leon Rice compared Buchanan to us before the game is Chandler Hutchison, the former first-round pick who played at Boise State.
Yeah, he was a pretty good one, too. That was a good block there by Buchanan. Great pass.
Play makes. Coleman Jones has been physical inside, the senior from Jacksonville. Cardenas bumped. They say last touch by B.J. Davison out of bounds.
You're going to see Omar Stanley. He's going to get caught kind of in no man's land when he tries to help off of this screen. So he's going to help. Here comes the pick and roll. He stays too long, lets Coleman Jones get behind him, and he's able to finish with the layup. You know, it's a fine line between staying there and stopping the dribbler and staying too long.
Is that one of those two where the Boise State other defenders don't want to lead the shooters to set up a three-point opportunity?
Yeah, there's no doubt that they were concerned more about Nick Boyd on that than they were about the big guy.
Taking the big guys, wow! Guath climbs the ladder for the first couple of points of the afternoon for Guath.
And really, Boise State has not had a real answer offensively in the half court against this defense.
Largest lead, San Diego State's. Cardenas operates.
You know, the thing about San Diego State is they guard the pick and roll so well. They go with the double right away as soon as Degenhardt had a mismatch.
Lock it. Got it.
He was their best player in the first half. That was a big shot.
His minutes have gone up the last 4 games prior to this, over 15. Great. Only had 1 game over 15 minutes before that. Guath into the mid-range. And Stanley boxes out.
Yeah, he didn't really want to shoot that one. He kind of could have shot that 3 also.
He's made 8 threes on the year, the 7-footer.
Now they got to switch Davis on Degenhardt.
Cardenas will head to the line. It started with the switch.
You see, good job. Guath gets his hands in there. And that was a good pass, but you don't need to throw Guath a real good pass with his length.
He can go and get it. B.J. Davis, that last foul is his 3rd. The sophomore guard for the Aztecs. Boise State is a team atop the Mountain West, shooting 78% from the line. Miles Heide reinserted for SDSU.
But those free throw attempt numbers are starting to get up to where what they average. This is their 16th free throw attempt.
Cardenas splits. Julian Bowie didn't get to the scorer's table in time, so he checks in for Cardenas. Cardenas has 3 fouls. Stanley is 3. That's the foul difficulty for Leon Rice. For Brian Dutcher, you can see there Johnson and Davis, 3 personals apiece. Bird was held. Flying off the screen, and it's a foul on Boise State. Team foul number 5. And third on Meadow.
Yeah, a lot of fouls today for Boise State. They've already reached their average in this game, so give San Diego State credit for that, too.
Correction, team foul 4 on the Broncos. McKinney with Stanley going straight up, no whistle. Lockett lobs, Dagenhart.
You know, it happened in the first half. Get some transition.
Bird was double teamed and delivered a dime to Heidi. Silences the ExtraMile Arena crowd that was roaring.
Yeah, now Bowie is limping. Something happened there.
See him headed to the sideline. He'll skip the bench and go straight to the locker room.
And he's had some injury issues this year.
Thumb injury, missing time with an illness. Then pulled an ankle all in a 2-week span. See him on the left of the screen in that last San Diego State action. Cardenas, Meadow, Stanley, Dagenhart, and Lockett. 5 on the floor for Boise State. Meadow from the corner. Boise State continues to struggle from 3.
And that's what San Diego State makes you do. They make you shoot more threes than you want to because you can't get it inside the lane with a drive or a pass. So you settle for threes.
This is with Waugh on the bench. McKinney, the reserve guard, drills it. Second 3 of the ball game for Wayne McKinney III.
He's a pretty good guy to have coming off that bench.
3 years at San Diego, one of 2 San Diego natives on San Diego State.
Coleman Jones now on Cardenas.
Cardenas dribbles past him. San Diego State switches the matchup. Lockett Jr. for 3. Dagenhart flies for the O-board. Is tied at 47, 5 straight for San Diego State. Stanley's doubled. Dangerous pass. Lockett with time and space. Delivers.
That was one of those possessions. Boise State was like 3 times. Should have turned it over and didn't, and ends up with a 3. Lockett's been really good, obviously.
That's 14, which is double any game that he's had this season.
Tough shot.
The Goreville, no. But Heidi's there. He is excellent on the offensive glass and shows it there.
12 minutes a game, and he's a leading offensive rebounder. You just saw that he plants himself down low and gets position, and that's what he does.
Has a knack and works at it. Cardenas floats. Only Dagenhart to catch that one. Bumped on the landing. It's heating up here at ExtraMile Arena.
Well, you got McKinney here drilling the 3, contested from the corner. And then Lockett, another 3. 54-50, San Diego State.
Five ties, 3 late changes. Fun atmosphere at ExtraMile Arena. We take a look at our fast analysis presented by AT&T, and it's Chris Lockett keeping Boise State in it.
Yeah, 5 for 7 from the field, 14 points. He has been terrific. This kid's a good player. I mean, he's going to be a really good player. A freshman, knocking out 3s. He has really been a savior for them.
Last couple of weeks, playing time up. More so in this game, Cardenas early foul trouble. So the burden went to the redshirt freshman from New Orleans, the former Louisiana Gatorade Player of the Year. He has responded with 14 points. His career high coming into this game was 7, matching his jersey number.
And there's the switch. McKinney's on Degenhart, but they bring the double quickly in the rotation.
Jab step, Buchanan against Block. And the 7-footer wins that battle.
Usually when you got to make that many moves, it's best to pass it.
Well, you know, Buchanan has a scorer's mindset.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
NAIA's top scorers a season ago. Indiana Wesleyan. Now here at Boise State, Miles Bird. He has 19 points, 7 of 13 from the floor. Came in 13 a contest. Cardenas with the big on him and Heidi. Tough look, fading over the big. Buchanan to Meadow from the offensive glass. Roth commits the foul. That is his third.
You know, when I was coaching, you really didn't see this much. You see dribble handoffs like crazy now. Tight dribble handoffs because it's hard to guard. Degenhart here doesn't know what to do. He sticks his hand in, but Bird turns the corner, ends up with an easy lay. You got to get the help from the weak side on that.
Is it the same, like, high screen principles attached to it, or is it a little bit different if it's a handoff?
Very good point. It's very similar to that, Chris.
Live CBS tomorrow, join the party at Hollywood's Wildest Awards Show. Nikki Glazer hosts the Golden Globes. Live CBS tomorrow, streaming on Paramount Plus.
And it's funny how the dribble handoff was not a big, you rarely saw teams doing that when I was coaching in the 90s and early 2000s. But now, every team dribble handoffs. Everybody.
4-point game, 9 minutes left.
You know, the belief back then was don't bring another guy to the defense. And really what's become now is it's hard to guard that thing if you come off it tight.
It's like everything is started with either a handoff like that or a high ball screen. And
plus, defenses were much more physical back when I was coaching. The freedom of movement has really changed things, too.
That's physical in the lane on that drive from Burr. No whistle. Giveaway. Cardenas hesitates, accelerates, lock it once more. Off to the left. Offensive board, Boise State. Cardenas tries. And that's McKinney securing. Boise State, the preseason favorites in the Mountain West. Almost unheard of that San Diego State was preseason 4.
Yeah, it's only 5 times in 20 years they were picked under first or second.
McKinney from the mid-range.
Yeah, the problem for Boise State is haven't been able to find consistency with the half-court offense. They've done some things in transition when they've had a chance, and that's really what you need to do a little bit more. They got to push the ball up, try to beat that defense down before it's set like this.
Remember, it was San Diego State that was up big in their last game, and a late run by Utah State stunned the Aztecs and gave them their first conference loss. Working with a lead on the road in Boise. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Buick. Capital One, what's in your wallet? And by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico. The eyewear. It's becoming a staple. I don't mind differentiating yourself in the era of NIL that we're in right now. Anything to have a unique style like Andrew Meadow. I've never worn glasses like that in my life, but if I'd had to, they're making it look cool.
Oh, no doubt about it. Oh, great shot there by Cardenas. Jean Morales doing a little homework there and getting the history of the eyewear.
That was well executed and a much-needed three-pointer out of the stop action. Leon Rice drew it up. Cardenas delivered the three. Roth can't get it to fall. And Buchanan saves it. Player with the glasses spotted up in the far corner in Meadow. Instead, the action on the other side, and it's a reach on B.J. Davis. And that is foul number 4 on the starting guard.
Well, you take a look at how dangerous the dribble handoff is. Degenhardt again is the guy who hands the ball off. They end up trailing the screen there big time. Too much room for Cardenas, and he knocks out the 3.
I wonder if that foot, you kind of slid before you took that 3. Did that foot touch a part of the line? But for now, a 3-pointer. Cardenas off the Degenhardt screen. The 2-man game strong for the Broncos.
You called it perfectly, Chris. That was the 2-man game. That's what they need to do. Get Degenhardt and Cardenas involved as much as you can. Good timeout by Brian Dutcher.
The X roars with a quick 6. Boise State. Both threes by Alvaro Cardenas, a Spaniard. We're all locked up at 58. And one note while we were away, they reviewed one of the 2 threes that Cardenas hit, ruled that it was a 2. His foot was on the line. So it's 58-57. San Diego State lead at 1. But Cardenas, what a spurt.
Yeah, I mean, really, the kid was in foul trouble in the first half, so he really never got into any rhythm. Now he's starting to. They're going under a couple of these screens and letting him get open threes. He's only shooting 29% for the year, but he's a 36% career three-point shooter. Knocked out 2 big ones in a row.
Yeah, he was close to 40% a season ago at San Jose State. Remaining in the Mountain West, and what Boise State has called a transformative transfer. During his first year at Boise State. And did the Brian Dutcher call timeout? Boyd towers to the rim. It's a travel.
Cardenas with great defense. You see him here. He just cuts off Boyd, and Boyd is just forcing the issue there, and he travels.
Boyd stuck on just 2 points, 3 assists, 1 of 6 shooting. Team leader in scoring coming in at 13.5 per game.
Now you see Nick Boyd trying to deny Cardenas the ball. Don't let him get touches. See, this whole possession, Cardenas has not had the ball in his hands. Now he's got it.
Degenhardt slips. Locked down to 7. Cardenas works against the 7-footer in Guaf. Second in the country in block shots. Cardenas, no. Tip board. Buchanan, muscles. And it's high up. The arrow will give it to San Diego State. Great job by Taj de Gorville. Hanging in there for that board.
Yeah, Buchanan did a great job of keeping that one alive. And DeGorville ties him up.
Last 2 meetings decided by a total of 3. Boise State's won 6 of the last 7 against San Diego State, but all those wins have been by 2 possessions or fewer. The series has been razor thin.
And you know what? San Diego State has won 87 of their last 93 games when they lead at the half. They led by 1 at the half.
That's Miles Bird. And to add further context to what you just said, they've won 29 straight when leading at the half before their last game. That had to happen at Utah State. Slipped away.
Tough little lead.
Cardenas intercepted to Gorville. Read it like a corner.
Yeah, that was a bad pass, but that's good defense because they went to wide open.
Binding screen by Heidi. And Gorville pays it off. Aztecs back up 5 with 5:03 left. Timeout, Boise State.
But Leon Rice can't be happy about that transition defense.
He's more than just a doctor. He's a detective. Morris Chestnut stars in the new CBS original series, Watch It. As mystery begins, CBS Sunday, January 26th, after the AFC Championship. Miles Burr, 21 points, career high. His Aztecs lead it by 5. Looked like this game was tied at 58. They took a point off the board at a 58-57. San Diego State countered with 2 straight field goals.
And 2 straight layups, really. Those not well defended by Boise State, either one of those plays.
Under 5 minutes left. Another close one between these two perennial contenders in the Mountain West. Buchanan attacking. Block, lost the ball.
Their best offense in the second half. Oh, and one.
Off the glass and through. And he lets them know. Taj to Gorville.
Now San Diego State speeding it up a little bit and scoring in transition. And this freshman, another guy is going to be a good player. Look, Boise State's best offense in this half has been those couple of sequences with Degenhardt and Cardenas involved in the 2-man game. That time they got away from it, they end up turning the ball over.
And the 4th foul on Cardenas. 8-point lead for San Diego State is their largest lead.
58-57 became 65 awful quick.
Right? And it started, as you mentioned, Coach, with San Diego State's defense, creating open floor opportunities. Nick Boyd in the backcourt commits the foul.
I mean, let's face it, San Diego State is offensively challenged in the half court also, so when they get out in transition, it helps them too.
It's a poor foul, 7th against San Diego State, which means the 1-1 for Boise State to try to end the 7-0 run.
Yeah, you hate to get a foul 90 feet from the basket like that, especially for Boyd to pick up that foul there. Who's just, he's a senior kid. He's been around.
But it doesn't cost him front end off rim. San Diego State could not finish with a lead against Utah State. Trying to do it here on the road. Roth. Second chance, third opportunity. Heidi gets it again, hits the floor and travels.
Yeah, one of the big storylines in this game also has been the fact that you have a top 5 defensive rebounding team in the country by percentage in Boise State, and they're getting hammered on the glass by San Diego State.
31-24 is the rebounding advantage for San Diego State.
And the big thing is 19-9 in terms of points on second chances. That's probably going to be, if they lose the game, Leon Rice's biggest disappointment, the way they rebounded in this game.
Lockett has been a standout with 14 points off the Boise State bench. Redshirt freshman gets it back. Quick first step, denied with a double. Stanley for 3. In and out. And Heidi steps in front of Degenhardt. San Diego State rebound. A chance to go up double digits.
Say Heidi's giving them a really good lift today.
A big number by his box score is the 4 rebounds. Bird off the block screen. Miles Bird.
Pass.
Excellent vision. Heidi. Back of the rim. Seven 7-0 San Diego State run over the last 2 minutes. We're reaching on Bird, which means the 1-1 up next. Another classic. Boise State, San Diego State. 2 of the top teams in the Mountain West on CBS. Tomorrow, NFL on CBS doubleheader. Key games shaping the playoff race. Falcons hosting the Panthers. Later, the Broncos hope to punch their ticket to the postseason with a win over the Chiefs. Now that's a CBS Sports Sunday. Begins noon Eastern in the NFL today. Tomorrow on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. Longest active playoff droughts. Not the Boise State Broncos, but the Denver Broncos.
Why you got to bring up my Jets? Why the Jets? Why the Jets got to be there?
They didn't come close to ending it this year, Coach. Thought they could in September.
Everybody thought they could.
And not quite. That Broncos-Chiefs game will be a key one to shape the AFC playoff picture. Boise State Broncos. They've made the last 3 NCAA tournaments, but 0-10 all time in the NCAA tournament. Still looking for that first win on that stage.
Most appearances without a win ever.
Correct. 0-10. 1-1 at the foul before the break in Bowie, who left a little bit earlier. Looked like he rolled an ankle. He's back and hoping for a Boise State comeback against an Aztec team that let one slip away in their last game against Utah State. 2 for 2.
They've got to really stand firm now, especially on the glass. Now here's a little pressing that they have not done this whole game. 1-2-2, 3-quarter.
Wath delivers. Aztecs break it.
Good job coming to the ball. A lot of times guys wait for the passes. Wath did a good job of coming to meet the pass.
6-point lead, 3 minutes left. Boyd, who's been quiet in the scoring column. Wath holds against Degenhart. Long strides and an extra step. San Diego State turnover. Their 10th.
Like you said, Chris, that last game, minute and a half to go. They had that game in control against Utah State. Up 6 points.
Right now, Utah State, the front runners in the league. What an incredible start to the season for the Aggies.
Well, Jared Calhoun has been doing an unbelievable job this year.
These are 2 teams that plan to be right up there with them.
That Mason Falsev is a really good player for Utah State.
Doesn't matter the coach. Doesn't matter the development. They will find a way to get it done year after year.
For a long time.
Cardenas, 10 to shoot. Looking at the 7-footer. Creates space. Cardenas high off the back rim.
The size of Watt there definitely bothered him, and the length. Good contest by him. And now, obviously, you want to play a little bit of clock now.
The whistle is Lockett. Puzzled look back at Errol Watton, the official. That's his first foul. The last foul to give for Boise State. Coach Dutcher's team won 33 of their last 37 games coming off of a loss.
Interesting, he's also going with Heidi for a long period of time here at the end of this game.
Sets the pin down for Bird, doesn't get it. This is DeGorville. Steps inside the paint. Tip up and in. Way to stick with it for San Diego State. Back up 8.
And another second chance point there.
Whistle away from the play.
21-9 in second chance points. And points off turnovers, 13-9. So all those extra points from forcing turnovers and scoring and getting second chance. That's San Diego State. If you watch their half-court offense, they probably shot 20% in the half-court if you take those other things away. But they do those opportunistic things.
It's the toughness. Wath, that last foul is his 4th. Stanley hits the front end. 62% free throw shooter. 1 of 2. Lane violation called on San Diego State. Wow. Another free throw. Ryan Dutcher clearly wanting an explanation.
Especially after he makes it.
Yeah, cost the team a point.
Yeah. Ryan Dutcher not happy. And here's the pressure again. This is about where they were against Utah State.
And that's a coach. Another opportunity for San Diego State to show they've learned from a week ago. Against the press. Wath ahead. The 7-foot slam.
That's how you break a press. Great job there. And you got to attack pressure. Make them pay for pressing.
That field goal drought extended close to 7 minutes.
and they have not been able to get Degenhart involved in this game at all. Give San Diego State tremendous credit for what they've done defensively.
He's still stuck single digits. He hasn't had a game this year where he scored fewer than 10.
One basket. Great job here. Here's the pressure. Now they get this up quickly, and Guath is gone.
Fourth foul on Meadow will walk the floor. The Aztecs, they led it by 7 with 1:30 left against Utah State. That second half was rough for Coach Dutcher. And that 3 by Tucker Anderson gained the separation right at the end.
Yeah, Utah State played a matchup zone, which is a lot of people don't do. Well, it's not over yet.
It's the front end. Gives Boise State life. Lockett poked by Bird, but there is a foul.
I don't think Brian Dutcher wanted that. There's no reason to really go for a steal there.
So a couple of free throws coming up. Tonight on CBS begins with Elsbeth, followed by 48 Hours, and a new edition of 48 Hours tonight on CBS. If you're just joining us, it was Boise State that got off to the strong start. San Diego State then buckled down defensively and took the lead about midway through the opening half and have largely played the front-running role ever since.
Yeah, you know, they caused so many droughts during the game. It's hard for you to play consistent offense against the way this team, the way they guard, especially if you don't get much in transition. Now you really are up against it.
That's the roll. Lockett, a season-high 15 points, 2 of 3 from the line in this game. Boise State comes in winning 5 in a row. That streak on the line.
Yeah, I think this is a good move to get in a little bit better free throw shooter in the game. Jared Coleman comes in. Not that he's great. He's 65%, but Heidi missed that last one.
Uses all the rim for the second. 2-possession game with 1:09 left.
They're going to have to make free throws.
Inbounds contested and an immediate foul. Boise State did not want to give that one.
No, they were in trouble. I mean, if you get a team in the backcourt like that, and you got him in that part of the court, and you got him doubled, and you're down 6 with 1 away to go, it's not like there's 10 seconds to go. Right here, you got this guy in a bad spot. And especially Guath being there, too. They had 2 guys within a foot of each other. That was a good place to double. You didn't want to foul it.
And they call it on Cardenas, and that is number 5. So he is fouled out. Second time this season, the guard from Spain is fouled out. Second in the conference in assists. He'll watch the rest of this one from the bench, although the officials taking a look at the monitor. Earl Walton, Mike Littlewood, and Randy McCall, the 3 officials. It was a trap along the sideline, and there were 2 players who were in the area that could have committed this foul.
Yeah, they're allowed to go to the monitor to see who did it. I guess they feel like Cardenas pushed him and he's stuck right there.
White 11.
And they confirmed it, white 11, that's Cardenas. And you can't look to see whether it was a foul or not, but you can see who the foul was on. And they confirmed that it is Cardenas. So confirms the bad news for Leon Rice. Cardenas battling foul trouble really throughout this game. Not play his usual rotation of minutes. And I think going back to what changed the flow of that first half where Boise State had the lead, he went to the bench with those couple of personals. That's when San Diego State really made their first run.
Yeah, there's no doubt that's what got them right back into the game.
Nick Boyd connects on the front end. He's a 78% free throw shooter. First year after playing 3 seasons at FAU. Lefty release. Perfect. 3-possession lead with 1:04 left. Degenhardt too strong. And Coleman Jones boxes out, pivots. And that feels like a dagger of a rebound.
You got a foul. I mean, it's not over yet.
They finally do. Boyd, a good free throw shooter. We just saw it. 9th team foul, so one more 1-and-1 for San Diego State. Coach Dutcher mentioned dropping that game to Utah State when you lose at home in the Mountain West. Feels like a bogey. Feels like you're behind the 8 ball. You got to make up for it. And you come on the road here to Boise in a sellout crowd at ExtraMile Arena, a place in which Boise State has had San Diego State's number, winning the last 3 at home. This is a big win for Coach Dutcher's team.
There's no doubt about it. In college basketball, you have to take a shot there. But in college basketball, you have to win at home. There is no sport where the home court is, oh, that was a bad pass there.
Meadow steals it, so hold on. Lays it in, and it's down to 5 with 38.8.
I see a lot of people walking out and they're walking back.
Yes, you can see a couple of people up at the concourse. They're trying to get back. There's the foul in the backcourt. Buchanan, he wanted to steal and set some more free throws with 36.8.
This is a little extra sweat that Brian Dutcher was not bargaining on here. And this is just getting a little careless with the ball. Meadow makes a good play.
That was a quick 5 for Miles Bird. That's his second miss in this game.
Let me tell you something. Brian Dutcher not feeling great. He was feeling unbelievable. But when I tell you about the emotions in this business,
yes.
20 seconds ago, he was feeling really good.
He missed both. 5-point game.
And you don't need a 3.
Well, he's taking a 3. Bowie. No. And a defensive board for San Diego State's Bird. And he'll yell as he goes back to the free throw line.
Did not need that shot. 38 seconds to go, down 5. Good time to get the ball to Degenhardt and at least get him to the free throw line.
That's the true freshman there from Pocatello, Idaho.
I give him credit. You know, he's got some guts, but not the best choice, I don't think.
And finally, Bird. This one's the big one to make it a 3-possession lead, 28.6. No. He's missed 3 of 4 down the stretch.
Even now, you don't have to shoot a 3, but you're down 6.
Lock it. And DeGorville gets the board, and San Diego State can see the finish line. And they made this difficult as well down the stretch. You go back to Utah State and the poor execution they had in that game at the end. And this one, they left the door open maybe a little longer than Coach Dutcher would want.
No doubt. I mean, he's gonna want to show the tape of this last minute. Show these guys, hey. Now, obviously, if they make their free throws, then nothing matters. But they didn't make free throws. They had a turnover. And another missed free throw.
Man, shooting 2 here.
Still not over.
It's 4 of 5 missed.
Now you do need a 3. 17 seconds, you're down 2 possessions.
The officials taking a look at the monitor with 16.9. Looking at making sure they have the correct time left on the clock. They put 18.4 there. Couple of looks that Boise State had that could have made this one even more interesting. The Bowie 3, that was off. Take a look at the clock. That did move. It should be 18.4. But San Diego State is 18.4 away from getting their second Mountain West win in their 3 conference games. This crowd, can it force another miss? McGorville, who would only miss one free throw all year coming in, connects.
That was the big one.
On the second, 7-point lead, 3 possessions. Meadow fires it high. Offside rim, and that should do it. Foul with 9.3 left in San Diego State, about to be 9-3.
And walk away with a quad 1 win.
They had lost 3 in a row against Boise State. And Nick Boyd, he misses at the line. So San Diego State's free throw struggles in the last minute of this game certainly be a teaching point.
Yeah, big time.
Well, this looked like classic San Diego State. When they needed it, got the stops, used that defense to fuel the offense. Bouncing back from a loss. Bowie's off the mark. Rebounds tipped out of bounds with 1.9. A rare home loss for Boise State that won 70 of their last 80 home games. Be their first home loss this season. Rockets' last look, and that does it. San Diego State, 76-68. They bounce back from a loss and get a road win at ExtraMile Arena. Ends a 3-game losing streak to the Broncos. Tonight on CBS begins with Elsbeth, followed by 48 Hours, and a new edition of 48 Hours. For Coach Steve Lapis and our entire crew, I'm Chris Lewis saying so long from Boise. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports.